Hey guys, welcome back. In the previous video, we saw how we can add secrets to our project, and in this video, we're going to see how we can decrypt our secret files in continuous integration, right? But before we do that, let's look at the error that we saw in the previous video. I looked closely, and what I saw was there were a couple of error statements. Well, this was intended in the test sandbox. Like if you look here, and if I go to test sandbox, this was an intended error statement. But if I go back, uh, there were two error statements in test environment factory, and in fact the first one was my mistake. But accidentally I gave here log error instead of log info, so I just changed those statements from log.error to log.info. And then when I looked closely, it seemed that the error was coming while parsing the secrets.config file, like when I read this error. And since secrets.config file was the one that we recently encrypted, my hunch was the problem was because test like TypeSafe was having some sort of trouble parsing this file. So as a quick test, what I did was I moved this secrets.config file from develop to resources. Why? Because at this moment our choice is defined in this reference.config file, where I've defined the test environment as develop. And if I, let's say, go to VS Code, commit this file, moved the secret file, commit this, go back, and if I do a git push, if this was indeed the root cause, our build should succeed now, right? So if I go back and if I go to Github Actions, let's see if our recent build succeeds. I already created a PR for this, so that's the reason, and I renamed the name from build to run test because, well, build was not too useful, not very intuitive. So now the build should be green because now there is no secrets file, in the develop repository, in the develop directory. So now we see that the test is running fine, test runs 12, and the build is green, right? This is exactly what we wanted. Test run 12 and everything is green. So let's go back, let's reintroduce the error, let's move back the secrets file to develop directory. Let's move back the file and let's push this. And this time the build should fail because now we again have the encrypted secrets file in CI, which it is not able to decrypt it. By the way, guys, just to show that this works perfectly fine in my local machine, if I run this test, which is parsing configuration, you will see that there's no problems. And that's because in my local machine, I already have decrypted my secrets, right? And that's the reason everything works fine. But the same test case fails in the CI. So if I go here, you will see that the same test case fails here. Assert that we can get user config, right? So the problem is indeed the case that we have not decrypted the secret file and TypeSafe cannot parse this encrypted file, right? So let's just go ahead and see how we can decrypt our secrets into this remote CI machine. Like, as you might be aware that every time we run our test into GitHub Actions, a new random machine is picked up. So we need to basically decrypt our secrets every single time the CI runs. The way you can do it is very simple. Go to Google and search for GitHub Action to decrypt Git Crypt, and maybe you can open up the very first link that shows up. So this is from slide team, but let's say if you want to see like all the different available GitHub Actions, you can go to GitHub Actions, search for Git Crypt. For now, there are 6 actions that that can be used to unlock Git Crypt. We are going to use a slide team one because, well, number one, it is called highest stars. Number two, this is the only one which serves a purpose. I looked into all the other ones and they don't really serve a purpose. One is for Windows, one is for an application for Heroku, one is to set up the Git Crypt itself, and this is not what we want. The first one from Git Crypt unlock, it requires GPG keys, which is one of the strategies that you can use to decrypt, but An easier strategy is what we're using here, right? And which is what is specified here. So what we're going to do is they've given an example here. So we don't need any of this stuff from jobs or from machine. We are also checking out our project. So the only thing that we need is unlocking the secrets. So let's just go ahead and copy this, go back to our project, go back to our workflow file, and once we have like set up a machine, checked out a project, once we set up our JDK, version 11, distribution tamarind, caching maven, before we run our test, this is the place where you would like to decrypt our secrets, right? At this moment, since you have not specified the Git Crypt key, which is what they ask us to provide as a secret, our build will fail, but that's completely fine. Let's just go ahead and just push this. So if I go back, let's just go ahead, add step to unlock secrets in CI. Let's just commit this, and let's just go ahead and push it. Okay, and if we go back to Github Actions, this time our CI should fail again, but for different reasons, and which is we have not specified, this. Let's see right now, and workflow graph cannot invalid workflow file. Okay, so we have a syntax error on line 12. Okay, line 12, user's name. Yep, and that is we have an indentation problem here, right? So let's just go back. Is this correct? Not really. Name. So this is correct. By the way, guys, all these YAML files are very sensitive to formatting. So this is a good use case. If you see this kind of errors, then you know that you have to fix your formatting. And now this looks okay. So let's say fixed formatting, commit, and let's just push the code from here itself. Some changes. Yep, let's go back. And if I go back to actions, this time it's running fine. It should fail, by the way, in the Git Crypt step because you're not provided, the secrets key. So setting up JDK, unlock secrets, and now it fails because we have not yet provided the secrets key, right? And as you can see, if we look into this actions documentation, it says we have to get this secret, by first exporting the key, which is what we have already done here. So we already have exported the key. The second step is to read this key and decode it base 64. So if I just try to do it here, cat decrypt key, it fails. Why does it fail? Because I'm using a Windows machine. If you are using a Linux machine or if you're using a Mac machine, cat works perfectly fine, right? But since I'm using a Windows machine, it will also not work with PowerShell. So what you can do is you can open the git bash utility and go to your project repository and run the same command again. Now you see everything is like encrypted. To decrypt it, if you go back, you have to parse it with base 64. So if I run the same command again and say base 64, this time you can see the key in plain text. It also says like if you want to copy this, you can run the command pbcopy, but with git bash it does not work. With Mac it will work, so you can also give this command to basically copy the value. So let's go back. For now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to just make first a secret. So let's just go to our project go to settings, go to secrets, go to actions, new repository secret, provide this secret name, and let's go back to git bash, and let's copy this, Control C, Windows 2, and let's paste this, right? So this is good. And if I add secret, now if I run the build again, this should succeed. But the question is, how do I run my uh, you know uh, workflow again? So it says read in jobs, read in all jobs. Let's read in jobs. Let's see what happens. Just click here. And this time it should work. So fingers crossed. Set up JDK, unlock secrets. This time it was able to unlock secrets. As you can see, there's no error. In the test, you can see the test running fine. The build is green. Test with Maven. As you can see, test run 12. Everything is working fine. So I think that's it, guys. Like in this particular video, you saw not only we fixed our error that we saw in the previous video, but we saw that the reason was, like, again, our encrypted secrets. And in this video, you saw how by adding this particular step you can unlock the secrets. You have to add a Git Crypt key, and with this you can run your test again. So that's it for this video, and maybe in the next video what I'm going to do is I'm going to show how we can create custom annotations. So for example, in here, like, we were tagging our test as failing, we were tagging our test as flaky. We might also want to tag our test as smoke test cases, for example, for different purposes. And adding a plain text is always error prone. Somebody might put the F as capital, somebody might make everything, somebody might say it failed rather than failing. So in the next video, I'm going to show how we can create custom annotations to basically write composite annotations, which we can use to specify our intentions in a much better way. And then in the future videos, we're going to also cover parts about reporting. So stay tuned, and I hope you learned something useful in this video. I look forward to see you guys in another video. Thank you. Bye-bye.